Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. About that time. It's been a week now. It's been a week. About that time now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the no longer the fastest rising show on UPR. We are the show on UPR. Shout out to Mr. Mike Knox because we definitely vibe off of each other. So we are A and B, 1A, 1B, however you want to say it. But this is the Smackdown Review Show, aka I want to welcome all of you too. Y'all know what y'all are here for. Here,
welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Yeah. That's what you're here for. Now, the guards of the penitentiary. As one of the guards of the penitentiary, I have something that I like to say before we start getting Smackdown because I don't know if you knew this, Vic. I know you got a busy life. There was a couple of shots thrown from some of the other shows from UPR. Now I'm gonna just say this: for all those other shows that just got something to say, get them out of here. Get them out of here. We don't need low cut shirts to show titties. Low cut shirts, get out of here too. We don't need to gentrify 2 words are too sweet with wrestling news because I already got it on the Mike Knox show. So you know what? For copying that style, get them the up out of here. Get them up out of here. We ain't got no time for it. We don't have to do none of that. We speak the real over here. We speak nothing but the real over here. And as I get into the show here, shout out to my people over here watching on Twitch. Shout out to my guy Bad Streets, aka Bad Justice. Y'all go follow him on Twitch. So let me go ahead and get up in this. Let me go ahead and get up in this chat. Shout out the chat real quick. George, thank you. Keep the hashtag. We love Pamela Martinez. Can't wait to talk about her. Listen. King Coda. I seen a King Coda. I need that. I seen some King Coda talk because King Coda was looking. Yeah, George. King Coda was looking like a whole schnizzak. Whole schnizzak. Yeah, I'm all for this. Can't wait to get into that main event. Hey, Jordan, what it do, boo? Listen. Now, the theme of yesterday or last night's show was definitely Solo was feeling himself. That man, Solo Sikoa came out there. That man, his name from now on is Solo Suge Sikoa. That man,
what? Man. Yo, he's definitely giving Suge Knight. I'll tell you that much. He's definitely giving. What?
Listen, yo, this is like when you just get paid, all your bills are caught up, you ain't got no bills due for that whole check. Everywhere I'm walking, I'm feeling like this. I ain't dressed like this, but I'm feeling like this. This is a whole mood right now. Solo Sikoa is a whole mood. That man, they literally are doing some of the best work with him, and it's effortlessly because he sat behind Paul Heyman, he sat behind Roman Reigns, and he's learning. You could tell that he gets it, right? And it's just like, and people think, oh, he was just thrusted into the spotlight. No, he's been playing the back for a good. A lot of people don't remember his Street Champ gimmick from NXT. The Street Champ was
exactly. That's why I was wondering when he was going to talk. Because people thought he couldn't talk. Shit. Yeah, he was yapping in NXT. That's why I was like, oh, why is he so quiet? You know what I mean? Like, why is this dude so quiet all of a sudden? But yeah, bro, I'm here for it. I'm curious to see what he does. You know what I mean? Because now he's the mob boss. So, all right, let's see how this works out.
Going into the night of SmackDown, right? My baby boy, he's sleepy. Going into the night of SmackDown, right? We start off with LA and AJ, and I was surprised. I thought that was going to be the main event. I really thought that was going to be the main event, and they swerved us and was like, "We're going to kick this show off first, right?"
Well, I mean, it's not surprising because Bayley's the only champion they really have. So
yeah,
that doesn't surprise me, and then plus Cody Rhodes is in Europe, and so
which I didn't even know that they were doing like a live tour thingy, but they were like in the O2, in which I thought was very funny that they were the O2, in which AEW was like, "Oh yeah, we done sold out the O2 arena." They're like, "Yeah, we'll send like half of our roster there and sell it out too at a live event that's non-televised, like just because." I'm like, what? What? That's nuts. That's nuts. So I thought that was pretty dope.
They're about to get spoiled, bro. Like that crowd is big. Look, they going to France now. I really regret, and I probably will for the rest of my life, not being able to go to WrestleMania 40 because unless doing it in the East Coast is too big to do it in the East Coast. It's brick. This whole idea about moving into May, if that happens, I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? But anyway,
that's outrageous, man. That's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like moving to Super Bowl.
Really
you can't do that.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. But you notice the Super Bowl is always somewhere hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And MetLife ain't never gonna get the Super Bowl.
So we get AJ versus LA Knight again, right? Much better match than they had at Mania, but I'm not saying that what they had at Mania was bad. But it's always room to improve, right? Shout out to Executive Consultant in the chat. What's wrong with them moving to May? It's just the tradition is the fact that it's supposed to be like, April. It's what you look forward to.
Traditionally is in April, but this is definitely the time of change. And like them moving it to May, if they move it to May, they can fuck around and do it in Chicago. You know what I mean? Because if they try to do that in Chicago now, it doesn't make sense. So and look, 35 was cold. 40 cold, and look, when they did 30, they did it down in Louisiana. And it was hot. You know what I mean? Like they got to go to hot places. But my point in saying that is just that now they're gonna go overseas. They're gonna do all these PLEs overseas, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of these WrestleManias from 41 to 45 ends up in that stadium you were talking about in the O2. And because the Brits will go crazy for that. They'll go nuts for that. You know what I mean? But the prices will be ridiculous because they'll be in pounds, not dollars.
Getting back into AJ in LA.
Sorry, word. Let's do that.
No, you're good. I moved the conversation back because I saw Executive had asked a question. I thought it was an interesting question. So I gotta say, I actually love AJ Styles' new theme music. I love it. That thing is a whole bop.
I mean,
like I like it.
It's
not the original. They don't want none. But
don't get me wrong. I like that song. They don't want none. I even listened to it just regular. You know what I mean? But it was time. It was time for him to get something new.
Yeah. And I think he's getting to do his version of the WWE version of his Lone Wolf gimmick, which is some of his absolute best work that he's ever done. And people always, when we talk about AJ Styles, that's what people definitely talk about when he was in TNA doing that Lone Wolf gimmick. He gets the dub over LA Knight. So reluctantly, we're getting AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes' first title defense. the fact that you guys set this up this way just pisses me off.
I mean, look. They could use it. They could use that to elevate AJ Styles as a heel. They haven't changed the championship. And these guys will put on a great match, because they're old guys in the game. They're veterans in the game. They're gonna put on a great match, and it's gonna be in France. So, hopefully they have some shit going on from the past where they can pull out, or they might make it some Bullet Club type shit. You know what I mean? Since AJ Styles is like the owner of the Bullet Club, basically, and Cody Rhodes was in the Bullet Club at one point. I mean, they might pull that shit. Who knows? But I think the only problem with it is just that it's clearly predictable.
Yeah, that's why I hated it. That's exactly why I hate it. I said that last week. Shout out DC Collector. Good morning, good afternoon, high rising, grand rising. I didn't want Bobby Lashley. Definitely going to get into this, George. Definitely, I didn't want, while that fatal 4-way, Bobby Lashley, he should have easily. I mean, the two triple threats. Bobby Lashley should easily beat all 5 of those men easily, right? We know this. He can do it in his sleep. But to feed Bobby Lashley to Cody Rhodes' first title defense would be asinine. But then to even still do the same thing to AJ Styles sucks even more. But I mean, if for what it's worth, for those who are familiar with any rendition of the Bullet Club, right? We're getting 2 former members of the Bullet Club to face off. So, which is always dope because they can tell that story for those who don't know about the history. And then the fact that they are the only 2 wrestlers to hold IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the WWE title, in which I would think that what was the champion? Does anybody in the chat know what was the championship that didn't Brock get one in New Japan, or did he just go to New Japan and just wrestle?
No, I think he won that championship too.
Okay, so so the fact that they didn't acknowledge it, like I thought so too. So when Cody said it, I was like, wait, what? I'm pretty sure Brock did that.
I mean, it's weird too because like it's like they have a love-hate relationship because sometimes they acknowledge it, sometimes they don't. And like I'll give you an example. I remember one time when the Dudley Boys won the tag team, and the Dudley Boys came out with those belts, like it was nothing. You know what I mean? So like I don't know why sometimes they mention those things, why they don't, but in my opinion, I feel like that belt is a big prop. Like, look, it was a great match, but Jon Moxley holding it right now is like a clear message. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
like it's like, that's a clear, like, all right, let's get some attention. All right. Okay. Sorry to the Moxley fans and all of that. I mean, I like Jon Moxley, but that the timing is just for that. Like,
Yeah, right. Like y'all know what I was doing. Y'all know what I was doing.
Word up. I mean, at the same time, I wonder if like it's a bad thing because truthfully, he does deserve that. I won't take that away from him. Like he does. That's a prestigious title, and he does deserve it. But for it to just come out of nowhere like that, that's my thing. But anyway, what were we talking about? My bad, because I'll be rambling.
No, you're good. We just got done talking about the AJ Styles and LA Knight match. So we're going to get Backlash Cody and AJ, which is still a good. They're going over to France. You're getting 2 guys that definitely are going to tear. Like, looking at Backlash early so far, we're going to get main event Jey Uso versus Damian Priest, and we're getting Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. 2 fire first defense matches for them.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, but
yes,
this is very,
NWA champion.
this is very new era, though.
This is
You know what I mean? This is very new era. This is very different. It's not, you still have the Bloodline storyline, but you do have, the titles going in different places. Solo Sikoa is not looking for a championship. So yeah.
I think Solo was just looking to be the tribal chief. He doesn't even care about a title. It's just
Exactly.
he cares
It's
about
just
the
about a
family
fight
title.
over red beads. It's about the red beads, baby. Let's get the red beads in the merch shop. You heard? Let's do it.
And shout out to DC. This is very, very true. They can spin it any way they want to, right? And
Of course,
I've seen on a couple of Facebook groups that I'm in, and they say, well, why can't Rhea hold on to her title? Because Seth did, Roman did, why they can't do it? And
I mean,
true.
they can make somebody the interim women's world's women champion, and then have them fight as an interim for months, and then make this whole interim thing.
I think that is the I absolutely hate interim storylines. I hate interim storylines. Like, I hate them. They never pan out well, and it just, I don't know. They're just trash to me. I hate interim titles.
That was the first time I ever saw that, and probably the last. Interim stuff, like, come on.
So the thing about the narrative and how they can spin it because of Rhea being injured, So the thing is, remember, Roman had signed a different contract, right? So he got his way around it. But then they throw in the title. If you're a title holder, you have to defend you have to defend the championship at least once in every 30 days or something like that. And I mean, I get in Seth's case, usually there's not a championship match on the way to Mania. You're not going to mess up that storyline. So I get that. But in Rhea's case, it looked like, I mean, Rhea was already dealing with an injury to her or her left hand, her left wrist, forearm, something in that area. She was already dealing with an injury there. And then where she got a shoulder injury, something like that. So she's got a double injury. Like, just, it's okay. Take the title off of her. She's been working nonstop for the whole year. She got her big payoff at Mania. It sucks, but it's okay. And the storyline is eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, in which the person that should have faced her at Mania, and Liv Morgan, because she had the best story with Rhea. Now we're getting even more meat and potatoes of this story, so this story can continue and get its rightful shine. And then we can see the Raw women's picture get elevated, but it's going to be switched anyway because the draft is coming up this week. And speaking of the draft, I just want to plug this really quick. UPR will be doing a draft special on Thursday with special host Mr. Mike Knox of the Mike Knox Show. Executive consultant will be taking on the GM role of Raw. Wrestling Dog will take NXT, and I will be representing the Penitentiary. So make sure y'all tune in on Thursday to check that out, and then you guys can give us our grades. So, but I wanted to say, as we were talking about Solo, the looks that Solo is giving him.
Oh yeah, that's foresight. That's definitely going to turn on him. He's definitely going to turn on him because he don't need no wise man. He's being very Gen Z. He's being mad Gen Z right now. You know what I mean? I don't need to listen to you.
Hear nothing. Yeah, he's not trying to hear nothing.
What you talking about? You don't know nothing. You don't know the apps I got on my phone. What you mean? Like, you don't know how to do this. You better recognize.
He's definitely like, He's definitely looking like he wants to. It's a slow burn, but they're doing a really good job with the burn
Well,
because
yeah, they
we
got to
don't
kill.
know. We don't know when Roman's coming back. We don't know when Rock's coming back. We don't know. So I think that
After
this
they
is
finish
genius
filming
to
those movies. You know what
yeah.
this reminds me of? Um, the DX Express. Remember when Triple H and Stephanie were like the super heels and DX and like, I mean, I'm talking about Attitude Era. You know what I mean? When DX was like a big heel, but they were like the corporation at the same time. You know what I mean? And like, and then all of a sudden Vince showed up and Vince was the big baby face. This reminds me of that setup.
It's so
You know?
crazy because um and I put it in the UPR chat last night as I was watching SmackDown and looking at Solo gets in the ring and he's literally like he's he's trying to talk, right? But the crowd won't let him.
They giving him the
And
Dominic Mysterio.
they
That
definitely
was
gave him the Dom.
crazy. That was crazy.
They
And did you
definitely gave
notice
him the
how they
Dom.
said we want Roman? How they
Yes.
doing that already?
So it's crazy because like the fact um that they literally turned Roman face and he did nothing. Roman did nothing and they changed him to a face. Just like that.
Yep. All
Like
he did was disappear.
I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, but
I mean,
yeah.
you know what? Here's the truth. In a time like this, where the attention span is super super short, for somebody to be champion for such a long time, and then all of a sudden, within a couple of weeks, everybody's like, "We miss you. You know, we want you back. Who the hell are you? What are you doing? You don't belong in this position." Right? That goes to show you that Roman does not need the title. And I'm very happy to see that. Roman Reigns is in a position where he does not need a championship. He is officially a Charlotte Flair. Charlotte
Yeah.
Flair is an opportunity. John Cena is an opportunity. And Roman Reigns is in that spot. You know what I mean? And I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm happy for him because he no longer needs a title. You know, but mind you, I always criticize Roman Reigns because it took everybody to, it took the whole shebang for everybody to get him over, but it worked. It worked because now look at him. Now look at him, Tribal Chief.
Yeah. So um in that segment, right, um we get where uh first of all, do you know what an MFT is? What is an MFT?
See, now from my research, it might be my family tree.
Huh.
You know what I mean? From what I've seen
Because he
so
did
far,
say he had to get rid of his brother to find a new
to get
brother.
another,
So
exactly.
so maybe he's
Mhm.
making his own bloodline, his own family tree. That's a wow. I didn't even okay.
No, I mean
Okay.
it makes, and it also makes sense. Like now, mind you, this is the from the hypothesis that's in the internet wrestling community, right? So
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but this is what people are hypothesizing um about this thing, because especially when The Rock, he showed up with the tree, showing up the tree and everybody, and in my opinion, it also, if everybody's an MFT, it's kind of like saying my oos, but
Yeah.
then that's a way to just start linking people in. He got rid of one brother to bring in another one, so now he may just go to Raw and do something to Jay Uso, and trading another brother for somebody else coming in. You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely the time where people are going to show up. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else shows up during the draft. And the bloodline continues to get bigger. It's the time. Hopefully there's a female.
The interesting thing is that what happens when the draft comes, right? Like, I don't want to see any of them moved. I don't want to see. I think everybody in the bloodline where they are should stay where they are. I don't want them to mess with any. Like, I just hope. I don't want them to bring Jay to SmackDown. I think Jay should stay on Raw. And I don't want him and Cody on the same show either. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they do that. I mean, yeah, Jimmy and Jay are going to reunite. I mean, it's Matt and Jeff. It's Rick and Scott. It's Booker and Stevie. You don't go apart to stay that way. But I think that Jay is just. We have to find a way to elevate Jimmy.
Well, I mean,
we have to find a way to elevate Jimmy without him looking like the weaker big brother.
I see you. He definitely looks weak, but he is hilarious. You know what I mean? He's very, very funny. So, and I think that's one of the things that's getting him over as a heel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but your little brother, the one that decided that he wanted to do his own thing, is arguably the most popular guy in WWE, and he's having single matches and he's burning the place down. His merch is going off the shelves, and you're just like it doesn't make sense. So they need to make Jimmy not look weak, but also you need to elevate Jimmy without throwing Jay off course, because not bringing Jimmy up, you're moving Jay down, and Jay is at main event status. We got to get Jimmy up to main event status. That's just and that's and until Jimmy has those runs, those big matches, something that relates to the crowd other than just being funny, I think he's going to be that way.
I mean, but does Jimmy want that though?
You know what? I don't know. That's the thing. We don't know.
Because I mean, like, I feel like
there's no telling how long he's out for it.
No, because the thing is that I always felt like one of them was Bubba Ray and one of them was Diva.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy is Devon, bro. Like, yo, get the tables. You feel me? Like, no offense, but I feel like that's his spot, and he's comfortable there.
Yeah.
Jay is the hothead. Jay likes to, go do the stuff within the, yapping at the mouth. He likes to hold the up and down stuff. My point is that, like the kids say, Jay got more Riz.
Got that Riz.
Yeah, bro.
So we see, first of all, the fact that Solo was still mad about Kevin Owens telling him that there's a broom closet down the hallway. Like, is that the reason? Like, because there was no reason why he needed to like hunt him down, but he's still
but he's a hothead though. He's a hothead.
Yeah.
He's mad. Like, you know what I mean? So it had Kevin Owens was the first one to be disrespectful. Kevin Owens is great for that. Oh my God, yo. Kevin Owens has got to be one of the most sarcastic WWE superstars ever. And Chris Jericho, I credit his extra sarcasm to Chris Jericho, because the shit he did with Chris Jericho was great. But yeah, bro, Kevin Owens on the mic is amazing, man. Amazing. and he already started to take him off and bomb. And look, it looked like he put on extra packets of blood on his head just to get the guy over. Like, your man.
I hated that. I hated that. Immediately, I hated it. It pissed me off so much. It pissed me off so much.
Man. They going in to get Tamatonga over, bro. Like,
yeah, he's looking strong
as hell.
Tamatonga is definitely looking strong. And we got this news. I want to touch on it because I was going to wait, but since you brought it up, George, we got this news I think like the end of SmackDown or middle. That Xia Li, Jinder Mahal, Undisputed, and Zion Quinn were released. And so I thought they had something with Xia Li. I did, but for whatever reason, she came out there on some Mortal Kombat shit, and it was never relatable. I thought Zion Quinn was somebody that they actually liked in NXT. If my memory serves me, he was always hurt. Jinder, damn. Undisputed, damn. Like, it sucks, but most of these people will be on their feet. They'll be fine.
I mean, no, you know the thing about that is that that's them trying to break into the Indian market. And unfortunately, it fails because I remember one interview that Jinder Mahal said, he's just, the problem is that, you know, you try to sell tickets and then everybody just tries to hook their brother up or figure something out or try to get over or try to not pay for the ticket. So it's hard to, like, it's easy to fill up an arena, but it's hard to get money for it. Right. So it's unfortunate that it's like that. But I think this is what's best for Jinder Mahal, to be honest with you, because I definitely see him, if he's down to do an indie run, I definitely see him doing some great things with Matt Cardona and shit like that. Like, the guy's not over, but he's got respect. You know what I mean? Like, he'll definitely do some great things with Dolph Ziggler and Matt Riddle and all of those guys that are running the indie scene right now. Yeah, because, you know, the guy, you know, he was basically just collecting a check at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So if he really, and honestly, I think he'll get his 15 minutes of fame in AEW if he does show up over there. You know what I mean? So, like, I think this is good for him.
If he was collecting a check, then you know what? I guarantee you, Titus O'Neil is still on the damn payroll.
Of course, but the shit is that they got more uses for him, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
They could use Jinder as an ambassador. They could use him as an ambassador.
They certainly can, and they probably do. You know what I mean? Well, you know, I mean, let's see, because everything is new now, bro. Everything is fresh, even though it's a little old. Everything is new. Anyway, I shouldn't be yapping so much because I'm running on battery, not on plug. So,
so after that, right? We see Nick Aldis, basically, he's pretty much he's for most of the part. Adam Pearce has let the Bloodline do whatever they want to do, and Adam Pearce is forewarning Paul Heyman that what's going on here can't happen, my dog. Like, this can't happen here. So, and the fact that, like, right now in this whole thing, right, the Oscar has to go to Paul Heyman at this point, because here, take it to your room. He has to be. The fact that he looks so shook up about everything that's going on. He looks at Solo in his face. He doesn't know what's going on.
I'll tell you one thing. If Paul Heyman was ever given the option to play the Penguin, I would run to that movie theater. I would run to that movie theater. If he was given the option to play the Penguin in a Batman movie, oh my god, I'd be there so fast. He's a great actor, bro. I'm telling you, and like
that
should be going
we get that, and
no, you didn't even mention the car crash.
Listen,
they really putting Tama Tonga over. Like they selling up. They spent money, bro. They fucking up cars. Like
they really are on to something here.
Yes, man. They going in for Tama Tonga. Like they crashed one rental car into another rental car. Like they spending money. That was at least 30 grand right there that they just threw away. Like, you know what I mean? To make the guy look strong. They spending all kinds of bread.
I wanted to before we get into what a lot of people wanted to discuss in the chat, which is the brand new WWE Tag Team Championships. We want to take a quick commercial break.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful. We're gonna dive into that. The fatal 4-way for the #1 contendership. You guys are watching the Smackdown Penitentiary show. Check out Mike Knox Show Monday.
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
It's always there. Vinny's been filling in, but it's Chris's show. But Chris has been working because, WrestleMania came, and it is not a cheap thing, people. Trust me, I took 5 people. There's nothing cheap about WrestleMania. So he's back. But today we're going to be joined by Vincent LaSpada. We're going to be joined by the Z Asylum. Y'all know him as Dice Man. And we're going to talk WrestleMania. But today, oh, my brother. For me, it was just okay. It was okay. A winner of this match, though, Rhea Thickley, being still the women's champion. And I'm with you, Vinny. Right choice, right person won. Becky shouldn't have won this match. Definitely took me there. But
it's the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh, I got some giveaways, people. I got some giveaways. Y'all get ready. It's time to up this thing up. I didn't go to WrestleMania and come home empty-handed. Just know that. Okay? But then we get this ladder match that, frankly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Being there, I didn't see half this shit. I had to come home and watch it, okay? Because when you're at WrestleMania, you're not privileged to the camera angles you get from watching things at home on television. So watching this there live, I wasn't that impressed with the match. I come home, it's okay. And that's funny because, like, I like to think to myself, I want to come here and make this thing sound all rosy and cheeks and, and make it sound great and all that kind of stuff. But I'm always a realist, and I love ladder matches. I've been begging for ladder matches to come back to WrestleMania. I finally get one, and this was the bullshit they give me. I'm just being honest with you. This was the bullshit they gave me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Mike Knox Show. You can catch him every Monday, 6 p.m., doing his thing for the UPR network. And I wanted to get back into these comments right before we talk about these tag team championships. DC says that Paul Heyman is a true legend and icon. The dude is great. The Penguin idea, he's all for it. He's all for him being the Penguin. Hank the Tank Werewolf, welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary. MFT Group, Solo Sikoa, Tamatoga, and Jacob Fatu, new MFT Bloodline team. I like it. Because that's it. It looks like one of the most obvious things, but the thing about WWE is how do we get there and how can we make it creative? And the first step was taken last week with the emergence of Tama Tonga. So Vic is on site right now. Breaking news from UPR. We don't need 30 million views with non-retention and 1 second views. We get them over here. They watch the show. They enjoy the show. They talk about the show. I just want to throw that little shout out there. I'm throwing jabs everywhere. I'm throwing jabs everywhere at everybody because everybody act like UPR really gonna be doing it, and we be doing it. In the Smackdown Penitentiary, we does this. So
That's right.
for those still here with us, those here just getting in here for the first time, I would like to welcome you.
Welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
That's right. We here to talk the real about SmackDown. Let's get back into the show here, and we want to talk about these wonderful, beautiful, beautiful belts because Monday, Awesome Truth got beautiful belts. I think they're beautiful. I like the red accent in them. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, these got to have the blue. They got to have blue accent in them, then, right? Because okay. But A-Town Down comes out. First of all, they didn't shake Triple H's hand, didn't shake Nick Aldis' hand. So I knew something was going to happen with them, right? And Triple H is out there, and he's being humble. I'm not. Paul Levesque is out there being humble, not Triple H. Paul Levesque is out there being humble, right? And then he just blah 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 blah, and let's just get this over with. Here's your new titles, right? And these things are beautiful. I am not too much of a fan of tag titles, but immediately when I saw these titles, it reminded me of Attitude Era. It reminded me of teams that held these type of belts. And specifically, I don't know why, but for some reason, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin came to my mind when I saw these belts.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to do.
Right? That's exactly what they bought me into. I was like, damn, the first thing I thought of was the world's greatest tag team, and which they were at that time, because skill-wise, nobody could touch those guys. But
I mean, look, it's Ruthless Aggression 2.0.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the belts are much, because those belts were nice. You know what I mean? Those belts weren't bad. Compared to like what happened with the penny belts, and then the penny belts turning color. You know what I mean? So like
those penny belts lasted too long for me. God,
yeah,
they lasted too long for me.
Way too long. And this a lot of people have been wanting this for a long time. This is literally the last belt that needed a side plate, and I love it because, in my opinion, this is the best looking belt in WWE right now. Straight up. Like, this is my favorite belt in WWE out of all of them. You know what I mean? I mean, Classic Wing Eagle is my favorite, but still, like, as far as like what's running now, this is good. I like this even better than Roman's belt. Than Cody's belt. Yeah, because it's not too much W. It has a great design. It reminds me a lot of the NXT UK belt. That belt was beautiful, and then it also has the shape of the original tag team belts that like Bret Hart and them had. And then, I think that the one gripe that people are going to have is that it doesn't really have too much color, but I don't mind that. Honestly, I really don't. The only other color that's there is black. And if you noticed, if you saw, it reminds you of that.
Yep.
Oh, and then the thing is, if you notice how different, and Austin Theory is a perfect example of that, because Austin Theory, that guy just looks like a champion. You know what I mean? I could tell when he was the Evolve. So like, you could just see the difference with the belt on him, and with them holding it, they look more like champions. You know what I mean? It's a massive difference from having color and silver to what they have now, and I'm very, very happy, very, very happy to see this. Yeah, man, those belts are beautiful, bro.
So out of these two, I was about to say, which do you prefer?
Oh no, the SmackDown. The SmackDown all day. I mean, like all belts, they look like, from far away, they look like pizza. You know what I mean? That's shit. It looks like you're about to have a slice. Like if they do a partnership with Little Caesars, bro, you already know, and they should do it now because it's Miz and Truth.
Yeah. They look like a pizza.
Bro, and it's the other one, and it's got the red on it. You know what I mean? Like I originally felt like they were doing this so that then they would never have to do a belt swap after the draft, and if the belts get switch back and forth to different shows and things like that. But clearly these belts are gonna stay where they at because it's got the red on it.
Yeah.
But like I said before, this is Ruthless Aggression 2.0, the world in the WWE. You know what I mean? Like they're differentiating from things being Raw and SmackDown.
So after they get their new belts, they stick around for commentary, and we get this banger of a fatal four-way.
That was a good match.
We get a banger of a fatal four-way with the Street Profits versus New Catch Republic, Legado del Fantasma, and Authors of Pain. Now, my whole gripe about my one gripe about this, how the fudge? No, scratch that. How the fuck does the Authors of Pain go to NXT, say they're going to challenge for the NXT Tag Championships, and then a few days later, you're coming to be in a fatal four-way pick a belt and try to stick with it. What is going on here?
And I think this is just big boy fella. Like, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But since they got half the roster in Europe,
exactly. But I didn't know that on the surface, right? I didn't even think about that. That even come into my mind. But this match actually was really good, really good. Like I said, I've been saying for a few weeks now, I am becoming a huge fan of New Catch Republic, but it is still Street Profits overall. I do love Humberto and Carlito, and Legado del Fantasma, but it's just not their time yet. They're a good team. It's not their time, and the Profits needed the win. Absolutely, George. I agree with you 100%. It's too much. It's too much touch and go with what Lashley has right now, and I believe that they actually know that they have something. It's just how do they get it? How do they get it? So, you know what, Charmaine, this is a really good question. I don't know why. I think one of them got storyline injured or something. Maybe I can't remember.
That's true. They should be. It should have been them.
They have been them, except as opposed to Authors of Pain. I want to say that shout out to the Street Profits for adopting the Batista Bomb RKO as a tag finisher. Because they perfecting that thing, and I like it. It fits them. It gives you power and finesse, in which Batista and Randy Orton were of Evolution.
Now, again, the funny thing about the Street Profits is that that's another example of a Bubba Ray and a Devon.
Oh God!
Oh God! I'm just saying. Are you laughing because you know it's the truth?
I would hate to be okay. So I will say this, right? If you say Bubba Ray and Devon, neither one of them in WWE had good singles runs. They did. Bubba Ray. No.
WWE,
Bubba Ray. But if we're talking Bully Ray, yes, Bully Ray, absolutely. I loved Bully Ray 110%. The Aces and Ace thing, I loved it. But
but look, my whole point in saying that is just that there's always one that plays it safe, and there's always one that takes the risk. Devon became a producer, played it safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He played it safe. Mark Henry played it safe. You know what I mean? R-Truth played it safe. Miz played it safe. You know what I mean? Like there's guys that just play it safe. You
But
know, Daniel Bryan is one of them.
they end up having long lasting careers by playing it safe, and they're all reliable.
Right. That's right. Look. R-Truth is a WWF hardcore champion from the Attitude Era, bro. You know what I mean, he's been there longer than the Miz. Like, come on, bro.
She does need to
Like,
come out and manage the Street Profits. But I just think I do like the camaraderie that they show coming out for everybody's entrance, and then they go to the back. I like
I
that aspect of
mean,
what they do.
I always felt that spot should have been Bianca Belair, because Bianca Belair has the mic skills to do what Mommy does. You know,
Yeah.
be a leader of men and you know, defend her own stuff. Like I always felt like she that, especially like when they were doing those TV commercials together, like those Snickers commercials together.
Yeah.
Like I always felt like she definitely should be running them. Not to mention Montez is her husband. Like, hello, you know. But
I just think that they probably just don't want to do too many on screen couples. So
I see that. I
what's
see
my
that.
kid
I'm
doing?
surprised Naomi. I'm surprised Naomi was never part of the Bloodline stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's when we think about it on the surface, it's like it's so many ways that it can go, but then they just don't go that way. Like, I never got it at all. But
Mm-hmm.
moving along with the show,
Oh
we
wow.
then still get a bunch of crap. I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this whole LWO thing at this point, because Carlito is basically just still obsessed with saying that, you know, Santos Escobar was the person that um that beat Dragon Lee down. And I feel like if they are putting this much effort into him caring this much about it, I have to predict that Carlito is turning. I
Yeah,
said this. I said this
I
like
think so.
2 weeks
At some
ago,
point he's gonna turn and
but
join. The,
yeah. Thank you, DC. Thank you. I definitely think like Carlito did that because he's not getting any shine. The man's wrestled like 3 matches in a year on TV. Like he wants his shine.
mm, mm, mm,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
nobody's
I
thinking.
don't know.
Nobody's thinking that.
I think he's just around to get the younger guys over. To tell you the truth,
Hey,
because like
Mike,
he's been doing that
didn't
for
I
like the past 10 years.
Didn't I tell you, Mike? I told you. I told you today's show. I told you today's show was going to be a statement. I said it. We cooking. We got the ingredients. I told you. Let me cook
Mm-hmm,
if you give me the ingredients, man. We got
mm-hmm,
this show. We got
mm-hmm.
this show rocking right now. Santos versus Carlito. Good match. Like I said, Santos is definitely the future. He's got it. Um,
Yep.
I forgot what the nickname they gave him. The Emperor of Lucha Libre. Oh, I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was fire when they said that. I said, yeah, I like it. But I also like heels. I like heels that are just assholes. And Santos is that guy. Again, second coming of Alberto Del Rio. Any version that you want to, any way you want to spin it, he will be looked at in that light. I think he's in a good spot on the mid card right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this LWO thing, I get it, but I don't get it because what else are you guys going to do besides what you're doing with the
I mean, look,
LWO? I just think they just show LWO so they can put a shirt, so they can sell some more merchandise at this point.
basically
Because
that's it. That's it. LWO. Listen, 90% of it is about representation. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
The one thing that I noticed is just that they only did Mexican and Puerto Rican shirts. right? Because everybody else is black marketing the shirts. They're using the same design and then just putting different flags for their own representation. You know what I mean? Like it's literally, especially for when they go to the West Coast and the Southern West Coast, you know, it's literally just about that, in my opinion. Now, more than anything, I noticed how Santos won this match clean. Like they're doing everything. It's like all hands on deck to get Santos over. And Rey Mysterio, I think he's doing a great job because he's just getting everybody over. But Carlito, you know, he's from the Ruthless Aggression era. He's a big name. Notice how he debuted in Puerto Rico and then got that big pop, but he's not a big name everywhere else. He's somebody that everybody remembers. You know what I mean? So like, I think that he's fine. I don't think he's chasing belts, to tell you the truth. I think he's fine just being in the mix. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, like I don't think he's one. You know, I hate to say like a jobber type, but I really don't think he wants all of that. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? You never know. But you know, yeah, I think that I feel like he's just, you know, getting a check and chilling and hanging out and doing this stuff and putting guys over. Because he's like in his mid-40s already. Like I don't think he's gonna do a run. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see. Yeah, I think he just wants
Zelina
to
and
be
Electra.
like, oh, I love that. Both of them got mic skill.
I think where this is heading is, unfortunately, the LWO isn't going to be able to, whatever the LWO is trying to do against Santos. Santos is one-upping them. I believe that Zelina will do the obvious that everybody wants and reunite with Andrade. But again, it's one of these things with us being so accessible to our favorite wrestlers, and they peel back the curtain on their lives, and it for the longest time we all thought Zelina and fucking Andrade was a couple, right? And then like, no, she's Aleister Black and he's with Charlotte Flair. Like, what? So it's like, once you know that information, now trying to separate the on-screen character from the person that you see on social media it gets a little difficult. And
they understand
knowing
the value of good credit.
Yeah, and so, you know, at the Hall of Fame ceremony, we saw Andrade next to Charlotte Flair, right? It's weird to have that person right next, like to have Zelina next to Andrade is like weird on screen, because we've already seen Andrade and his wife on screen. So, and
when they were together in NXT, though.
Huh?
They were together in NXT.
Yeah, we know that, but I'm talking about when they came up on the main roster.
I see.
Yeah. Carlito is never wearing, he hasn't been wearing an LWO shirt in a long time.
No, he never did.
It's always been that Carlito shirt.
Yeah, it's always a one-off, or if he did, he wore the Puerto Rican one. I mean, I think he did that. Yeah, I think he might have done that in Puerto Rico, but yeah, he usually just wears his Carlito shirt with the Puerto Rican flag on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's usually what he does.
Listen, George, when Zelina jumped up on Andrade and gave him like that little spider monkey hug, she had her whole legs wrapped around that man's waist. I said, "Oh Lord, ain't no way Charlotte is cool with this shit. Ain't no way." So, after that, we get we get a nice shot. We get a nice pan out shot of Damage Control, and well, right before that we get, you know, no, it was before or after. No, it was after Bayley's, you know, pretty much saying that she's the only women's champion. and she understands the importance of that right now. And since the woman is on my screen, those of you who are familiar with this, those of you who are brand new to this, we have the lovely, luscious, peachy, thick-assed Bayley on our screen. And what do we like to do in the chat when Bayley is on the screen? We just simply like to say, I love you, Pamela Martinez. That is it. All right. Now, into this, she basically says she understands the responsibility that she has being the only woman on the roster with a women's championship. She said it like they were in limbo or something like that. But I mean, we're gonna find out a new champion in like 3 days. So that was really weird.
How is that gonna work? That's the one thing I'm curious. Like, how's that? What's going on? I mean, it's certainly a lot of sizzle that they're just letting everybody wait and see. But I'm curious. Like, there was no mention of that last night at all. Like, what do you mean?
I think they said it was. I think they announced it's like a fatal 4-way. It's like big. It's like Nia, Liv. I think they said Maxine is in there and somebody else. Yeah, I see. Yeah. But Chris and Mike will battle to the death of me about some damn Maxine Dupree, but then will accept. They won't accept Liv Morgan, but you're going to Maxine Dupree.
Oh shit!
Anyway,
it might be because they're in Europe and they don't know how to fix. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Okay. Yo, Monday's gonna be wild. Let's see what kind of bullshit they come up with. All right, Battle Royal on Monday Night Raw for the belt. That's actually that's quick thinking. That's quick thinking. I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? That's an easy way for Liv Morgan to get it.
We go from this right here is the exactly, George. You know what you was picking up telepathically. You was picking up what I was about to put down. We are going into the goodness gracious great ass of fire part of the show because it was nothing but beauty on this screen. Even Oscar with that makeup in the back. I love me some Oscar, but we love King Coda over here a little bit more. Yeah, King Coda. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks good. I really like the way that they used like this part of the stadium to create a segment where people are arguing. Like what my point is that I like how they did it there instead of like backstage or in the ring. And the audience is also a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is different. And I would like to see that more often. Like, because they're spectators of the show, just like if somebody would come out to sit on ringside, but then they're doing it from the stands. And it's a squad.
Yeah, you're giving other people like a big you're giving them the chance to feel like they are a part of the show, right? And they don't have to force being part of the show. And that's one of my biggest gripes of when I'm watching something like AEW, right? Like for those here in the chat, I love all pro wrestling. I will watch every ounce of pro wrestling, but there is something about the way that it's presented to me, and I understand the way it's presented to me, that I prefer, right? And WWE's been the big league since the day I was born. Although I was a WCW fan as well, right? But as I'm looking back at WCW was total shit, and I can't believe that I was brainwashed to liking it. But making your crowd feel like they're a part of the show just by the angles or the location of where you have your segments, it matters, right? Like AEW crowds have the potential to take over because they want to do annoying chants because they're feeling like they're not a part of the show. So you have to make yourself a part of the show. Whereas in WWE, it's like, oh, the camera is going through the crowd. Literally, it's some of the best shots that you can see on WWE is, and it's so simple. Like, it's the most simple shot. But the fact that like you have production going through a crowd and it's not a match, it's just showing the crowd off, like giving some love to the crowd. The thing that they had on Monday with Jey Uso escaping through the crowd, going through the crowd, giving high fives to everybody. And then we see Sami Zayn. They're both looking up at the sign of the arena. And then the camera, and this is all one shot. It was like a home video. It's all one shot. And you see the cameraman get behind Sami, and and he follows Sami through the crowd. That type of fan inclusion is what has been missing from wrestling. And it's a small tidbit, but it's a great one. And like you were saying, this to be at this point was pretty dope. So these ladies are watching. They're going to watch the title match between Bayley and Naomi. A lot of steak in the ring. A lot of steak. And they, Dakota tells Kayla that, shout out to Kayla with that dress. I did not. Yeah, shout out to Kayla with the dress on. She says that EO will, she'll get the belt when she's good and ready. And the Kabuki Warriors are still those, they're still the dominant force. And then the lights get low. And by gosh, there's a storm coming. The shot pans to the ring or to the entranceway. And we think that we're going to get that. By the way, really dope shot here. This is a beautiful shot of just the arena in itself. And a lot of people don't like the new setup of the entrance. How everybody in the chat, how do you feel about the new entryway for Raw and SmackDown?
I think
they're trying to fit more people in there, and Titantrons aren't that big of a thing anymore. They used to be a really hot commodity, and I wish that there was something that, maybe AI technology can do something with that. But I used to love Titantrons, where you can see highlights of somebody's matches and their signature moves, and just those when they would have them like in a warehouse, like an empty warehouse, and there's just rain falling down on them, like giant lights in the background. Like, those were like Titantrons. But like now we just get like, a nice little word, some color schemes.
Well, I mean, like, when you have a whole bunch of displays, you don't really necessarily need one big one. And then the other thing is just that going to different arenas, every arena has different logistics. The smaller their setup, long term, the better. Because mind you, they don't do that everywhere. And they sell out places where they just have people coming out of a curtain, they turn the music on, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't necessarily always have this big production. For some people, though, they need it because they need the space for the pyro. But it depends on the spot that they're going to. You know what I mean? Because like you said, that shit takes away seats. And the interest is higher. More people want to come in. And, I got my camera off because my battery's dying. So, I want to stretch it out.
You're all good. We're almost out of here, brother. So we get these luscious ladies. Who put that? Yeah, George. 2 scrumptious chocolate cakes, extra fudge, extra ooey gooiness. Oh God! If Mike was here, he would be doing the CEO dance right now.
Yo, amazing.
Listen,
amazing. That whole segment was, what? I was protesting
was ready to take the earrings out.
Facts. I mean, I was protesting against.
Go ahead.
I was protesting against them together last week, but now I'm starting to see it, especially after they gave Naomi her flowers this week, basically. You know what I mean? Because she had a really good match. Like, that match. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. I thought it was gonna be a throwaway, but that shit. It was a baby, but it was a good match. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the whole situation, the whole situation afterwards was crazy, but they definitely put on a good match. So I don't know where that's gonna go, But it was interesting because they had how many women involved? The two in the ring, Tiffany Stratton, the two up, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Io Sky, Asuka. They had everybody involved in this entire thing at the end of the show, and it was great. You know what I mean? Like they put in a lot of shine on the women for this show, so it's pretty cool because they closed out the show. You know what I mean? Roman Reigns ain't around.
Yeah, but they're giving a different they're giving different people chances to close the show out and see what those numbers see what those numbers look like. And I think that they did a good job. This was a great segment to segue into the match to foreshadow something. And you just got a lot of dessert right there in this shot. You just got a lot of dessert right here.
Oh,
and it's highlighted by that double fudge chocolate truffle cake in the back. Oh gosh. Topped off with some King Coda. Woo. All right. That was a moment there. Let me gather myself. All right, we're good now. So these ladies are arguing right before the main event. In which in the main event is Naomi versus Bayley. And they're telling the story of what people don't know about the relationship between Bayley and Naomi. Before I get into that, right, I want to say something about the camera work. The camera work was fire because, like, they did it again. They did the same thing that they did at WrestleMania. They gave you the 4K. I was trying to find it here on Twitter somewhere. They gave you the 4K in-ring shot where it's like, it blurs the background a little bit and focuses just on the wrestler, but it makes them feel like they're popping out of the screen or extra crispy, right? Like they actually treated this very much so like a big deal. Actually, I think I found it. Now for those of you that are you can still see it, right? But it doesn't do it justice because it is we are on camera. I mean, CPU. But the difference of the background and the person, like, I think that these shots make it a big match feel, and that's something that it's something that WWE is mastering, and they just started out doing it, with pay-per-views, but to do it now on SmackDown, I don't think that they've done that before. I really love it. It's like when you get to the end of a football game and they're doing the they got the zoom camera that's the one that's on the zip line, and it's just like that's what it makes me feel like when I watch it. But absolutely, George, the cameraman needs a huge paycheck. It'll only be a matter of time before this gets ripped off by some other promotion. We already know what that's going to.
It feels more ESPN type. You know what I mean? It definitely feels more sports like, and that's definitely. I think that's definitely part of the TKO influence. I mean,
for
right
sure,
now,
they are definitely making. You can see the transition of they want WWE to more than a big deal that it already is, and it's like trying to tell somebody, hey, you're a millionaire, but don't you want to be a billionaire? It's like it's essentially changing the brand mindset for the greater good, and the greater good is more money. More money equals bigger paychecks for everybody.
Well,
you get more job opportunities.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really think that the death of kayfabe is what led to it. Because and the argument of that wrestling is fake will always be there, but like it has to be. Ric Flair would not still be wouldn't be able to be part of segments still till this day if it wasn't. What Ric Flair wouldn't be doing videos with Bad Bunny and the Migos if it was real. You know what I mean? Like like Mike Tyson is a household name. Floyd Mayweather is a household name. Muhammad Ali is a household name, but Muhammad Ali was a fan of he was a wrestling fan. Is my point. You know what I mean? Shout out to Muhammad Ali and the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still, like, it's just the production of the show is kind of what led it to be so big. And and I feel privileged to be a wrestling fan because I remember growing up and everybody just making fun of us liking something fake.
Yeah, we got picked on.
Yeah, but now just to see how much it's growing, in my opinion, it's getting a little bigger than football because football is never going to be 2 nights. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Super Bowl is never going to be 2 nights, and they're never going to have to. And look, the logistics the problems with the logistics that they're having now, as to where to put it in the future, moving it to May, and this and that. WrestleMania 20 didn't have that problem because they were only trying to fill out a 20,000 seat stadium. They can't put it in Madison Square Garden because Madison Square Garden is too small potatoes for WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just amazing that by WrestleMania 40, like you got something that's just so big and continuing to grow. I would love to be able to fly to London and go to a WrestleMania over there or something like that. Man, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing what's happening, and I'm excited to see what comes in the future. Because it's definitely looking bright.
Listen, this match was really good. It really surprised me. For those of you guys that
match was good.
For those of you that do watch, what's up, baby? Okay. Sorry, my son, he wants to play with blocks. For those of you that see the shows that I do when we're talking about women's matches, and my biggest gripe is counting steps. You have a veteran like Bayley in the ring, and you have a good worker like Naomi in the ring. Naomi, you can see that their timing was off a little bit because they would wait, but that's just a gripe of mine when I'm watching women's wrestling. Because I think that their trust factor sometimes isn't all the way there, but that could be a thing that they haven't. That could be a thing where they haven't been in a ring in a really long time together. So chemistry takes time. Like,
yep.
Same thing with LA and AJ at Mania. Wasn't the best match. It was a good match, but the match they had on SmackDown was much better than their WrestleMania match because repetition. You get familiar.
Yep.
But I will say that Naomi keeping up with Bayley's technical prowess was very impressive to me. I think that it's the fact that Bayley's a very tech savvy wrestler, and Naomi is a striker. She's a mover. She's going to give you a little pizzazz, but for the most part, you could definitely tell that Bayley called that match, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My favorite spot was when Naomi pulled out a submission out of nowhere.
Yes, I was very surprised at
that. To seeing that from Naomi, you know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily. She just showed you like some new shit that she's been up to. So I definitely was excited for that. But like more than anything, what I realized is that this match was about making Naomi look good and giving her the flowers she
Mhm.
deserved. You know what I mean? I mean, it was predictable that she was going to lose the match. Because the thing is, like, going into this match, I'm just like, damn, man, why not give her a pay-per-view? Why not? Why just a match on SmackDown? Like, she's a veteran. Like, she deserves, you know what I mean? Like, that was my gripe with it. But when the match happened, and since it was the main event of SmackDown, it was pretty good, you know. But ultimately, you know, it's Tiffy time right now. So, you know, she came in, and mind you, shout out to Bayley and Naomi for, you know, taking the most beautiful moonsault ever, as it's called. Because, you know, they've definitely given this little girl the rub. Like, she's getting pushed to the moon, bro. It really is Tiffy time. It felt like Tiffany Stratton was the freaking champion at the end of the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's definitely over as a heel. She came in and messed up the baby. Damage Control was in the back laughing. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a 4-on-4. You know what I mean? Like Damage Control, and then Naomi, Bianca with Bayley, and they do something. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But we'll see. We'll see where this is going, because Tiffany Stratton, yeah, she's up to something. Or I mean, you know, she might be one of the first ones. She might get her little LA Knight shine. If you know how when they threw LA Knight at Roman Reigns, you know what I mean? Like, she might get that right now.
She is getting a rocket ship strapped to her back right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's definitely getting the Austin Theory right now.
And she, at first, I was not for it too much. I'm not gonna lie. This is the point where I said, you know what? If I just let it happen, I like it. I like it. As a fan of heels, I like it. What she did, dude, I'm almost done. Go. So she decimates these ladies.
Yep.
Decimates these ladies. Right? And she's flexing and then hits it. Listen, this moonsault really is good. That is a really dope moonsault. To hit all three rungs of the turnbuckle or the outside of the ropes, and then get that height and that form. Look at that. Look at that. That's perfect. Perfect. Yep. Perfect form is crazy. Like, it was a thing of beauty, right? She is a thing of beauty. The move was a thing of beauty. They have something. They have something with Tiffy time. They know it. The fans know it.
Yep.
Now leave that. Like, I'll leave that there.
That's right.
As we finish the main event. So when we're talking about a Tiffany Stratton, we're talking about a Tiffany Stratton. It's like there's no other woman on that roster right now that has, like, that came from NXT that has it. I do believe that Roxanne Perez is next up. As far as those women go.
You know what? I see Roxanne Perez like another Liv Morgan. I don't think she's
that's hard. That's hard to say, because Liv Morgan was not loved like Roxanne Perez is loved. Like, Liv in NXT back then, she wasn't getting the pops that Roxanne Perez is getting. So I don't know if I can agree with that. But
I mean, remember, Liv Morgan was in the Riot Squad, and she was always playing second fiddle to somebody, you know. But my point is just that because of her stature, Like she's gonna have to come hard with the personality, because like I think that Liv Morgan appeals to a lot of little girls that are like her. She's super cute, but the reality is just that once she says "watch me," it's everything that she does in the ring. You know what I mean? She doesn't have any promos that everybody remembers, and it's the same thing with Roxanne Perez. Like she has this great appearance in the ring and does all this great stuff in the ring, but like as far as like mic skills, nah, bro. Tiffy Time could talk all kinds of shit, and that's in my opinion that's one of her main appeals. When she had that match with that country girl and she lost that match, and then she had to do all of that stuff. Like everybody was happy to see her lose and happy to see
Fallon
her do
Henley.
Yeah, Fallon Henley. But nobody's looking for Fallon Henley anymore. You see how I forgot her name? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like it's Tiffy time, bro. Because everybody wants
no. Okay, so a couple of things that I want to talk about while you said your soliloquy, right? It is very. I'm gonna need. You know what? I'm gonna need the disrespect to stop. This is an outrage. And I need mid
You a
Morgan.
Fallon Henley fan?
I can't. You're not gonna call mid Morgan, and then you're gonna sit up here and give me Carmella. You can't do it. Don't do that to me. Listen, it's easier. It is much easier to get. It's Tiffy time. Tiffy time is much easier to be marketable than whatever Fallon Henley says, right? Because she doesn't have a tagline. Like she doesn't have a catchphrase. Tiffy time is easy to. It's on her freaking top. It says Tiffy time on her. Like it's easy to understand. It's easy to get that. But I will say that if and when Tiffy time has to go and be a face, that's the real testament to who Tiffy time is. Because anybody, for the longest time, Randy Orton was only looked at as a good heel. Now he's a good face too.
I mean, he's a much better heel than a face.
Yeah, but for a lot of people,
they
didn't like. And by the way, where the hell was Randy Orton last night? Oh my god, man!
Facts. That's true. That's true. There was no sighting of Randy Orton all week. He's probably over in Europe.
Tiffy Time had 3 matches on SmackDown. She's made 5 appearances. It's Tiffy Time for life. Get out of here. Get out of here. You guys disgust me.
She's the new it girl right now, bro.
Yeah, flavor of the month. I get it.
She is the Regina George of the now.
If Tiffy gets drafted, I don't think Tiffany goes anywhere. She's got it's for the people that aren't involved in any type of conflict, any type of storyline. Those are the people more so that are going to be moved, in my opinion. Rarely do we see in the middle of a storyline does somebody get drafted. I think it's happened maybe a handful of times, and they still try to get them to finish up whatever they're doing. But it comes off as it comes off sloppy because you're now confusing the fans. The only question is, as we are getting ready to close the show out, the only question is, looking forward to the draft next week, are they going to stick to the draft? Like, what is your prediction? Do you think that they're actually going to stick to the draft, or are we going to get the same random shit?
Yeah, because that's one of the ways that they call up people from NXT. I got a feeling that one of the main things is going to be Carmelo Hayes, definitely. Probably Trick Williams. You know what I mean? Because he's got that catchphrase. But maybe somebody else from NXT. I definitely think that that's going to be one of the surprises. But the champions are definitely going to stay in the same spot, and then they're just going to shuffle people around, like you said, whoever don't got storylines. But more than anything, I think the main thing is to bring people up from NXT.
The heavy hitters, you know what? The heavy hitters, the money makers are going to be on Netflix. But also the fact that, and I spoke about this, I want to say in the chat on NXT review show, they're going to treat NXT like a premium brand again. 2019. So somebody from the main roster that needs a change of scenery is going to go to NXT.
Well,
They're
I
going to
mean,
have.
I think
Go
they're
ahead.
trying to change the narrative. I think they're trying to change the narrative that NXT is developmental.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if you're gonna do that, take Natty out of there, because Natty Neidhart is developmental.
No, Natty's chasing that one title that she has yet to get. I'm for it. I'm for the boat. I'm all for the
No, I
boat to
would
get the
love
title.
to see her. I would love to see her get that title run. Don't get me wrong, but everybody knows that at this point, Natty Neidhart is developmental. She's the person that's gonna have a good match with somebody and make them look fucking great. She is
That's why
Dolph
she's the
Ziggler.
boat.
Yeah,
That's why
so
she's the
she's gonna make them. She's gonna make them look fucking amazing. But the thing about it is just that, like, she still has that stigma of, like, you know, she's not somebody that they're gonna put a belt on. I mean, if she gets the NXT championship, great. You know, look, Becky Lynch did it, Charlotte Flair did it, all right. But it doesn't take away the stigma that it's developmental. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see somebody that's already at a high ranking be sent to NXT and then see what happens and elevate some more people the way Becky Lynch did. But then at the same time, you know, NXT doesn't go on the road like that. NXT is at the Performance Center, like NXT, you know. So you giving people you taking shine from certain people, you know, while you're giving them the rub. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think it's gonna be very interesting. I mean, look, I'm just excited because I'm an old wrestling fan, and I can't predict things anymore. I can't predict nothing. Like, I get surprised, bro. Like, I'm excited about that.
Listen, I will say that this is one of the most anticipated drafts because it not only is going to change the landscape of WWE as we see it. I know you got to get your blocks. It's going to change the way that the business is going to be looked at from a corporate perspective, and it's interesting to see where and how they're going to think, and hopefully it's going to be filled with a lot of surprises. And as we talk about the draft once again, the UPR draft special is going to be on Thursday. Drafting for Raw will be executive consultant. NXT will be Wrestling Doll, and I will be representing the Penitentiary with our special host, Mr. Mike Knox of the Mike Knox Show. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And before I get out of here, I just want to see what the chat. We're going to get at the chat really quick before we get up out of here. Hey, listen, best show out there. Listen, all the other shows. I got another soliloquy real quick. All you other shows, you tried to throw some shots at us earlier. Tried to throw some shots at us earlier this week. But you know what? It's all good. They keep coming back to the Penitentiary. We don't need low cut shirts. We don't need low cut shirts to show our bra sizes. We don't need ripoffs of gentrified news because we already got that for the Mike Knox Show. 2 words, too sweet. You know how we do it. We don't even have to throw shots at y'all. We don't even have to have outlandish takes that we don't even believe in to get y'all to watch. Y'all just come here to get the real. You get Z, you get Vic. Listen, you get so all that other stuff that y'all talking about, get them the fuck out of here. All of them. All of them. Now, before we get our closing thoughts, and I just want to show some love to NXT real quick, y'all. Stay tuned. We'll get our closing thoughts. We'll get you guys out of here.
No, scratch that. Jogs British got squashed. No, he literally did get squashed because I got it. You wanted to get that word out there. Dominated. But no, he didn't really get dominated. He got out. He really held his own out there. But I think also too, you have the the
3 broken ribs.
yes, thank you. Yeah, so that's fine.
Listen,
we
if
had
you're 100% and it was and he barely got any licks in, then you could say he got dominated.
You gotta put the whole emphasis on it. You got. Come on, wrestler dog. You gotta dominate it. You gotta make sure you get the whole move. You gotta even got to get the head motion.
That's why I let you do, because you do it much better than I ever could.
Oh my God! You don't even know when I'm at work. Like I ran over a water bug. I said dominate it because he was in my way. I hate water bugs. They're just big and in the way. Hate them. They're gross.
Well, that's why you're blessed with you saying it. So
fantastic.
I ain't gonna lie, I love that commercial. Victimized and dominated. That's what you got to throw victimize in there. Victimize. You got to throw that in there. That's
funny.
Before we get out here with our final thoughts, just want to remind everybody we have something for everyone. And it all begins on Monday at 6 p.m. with the Mike Knox Show, setting the week off for us. And then you can come back after Raw's over with, hit the Raw review. And then Tuesday, right after NXT, you got the Wrestling Doll, and she'll have a rotating plethora of co-hosts as Bad Guy Jacks take a sabbatical or just a little break. Every time we all need a nice social media cleanse. I went on one a couple of months ago. We all need that. Wednesday, you got the AE Dynamite crew. There we go. I was talking too much. We got the Dynamite crew. With Dan the Man, Vinny LaSpada, and whoever else they're going to bring on, try to take everybody else down like Voltron. And then you can come back here on Saturday for the Penitentiary, the Smackdown review show. No longer the fastest rising show on UPR. We are the show on UPR. That's not saying that we're the reason why UPR is what it is, but we are a marquee. We are a market. We are a traction. We are a acquired taste here. We understand. We understand it. It's all good.
Telling no lies.
No lies. No lies here. Your final thoughts on SmackDown and anything that you're looking forward to in wrestling this week.
Well, a lot happened in wrestling this week. You know what I mean? There's a lot of change going on. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the draft. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the Women's World Championship. I'm very happy with the SmackDown Championships. I mean, finally, we're in a position where every single belt in WWE takes side plates. They started with the side plates 10 years ago, and now every single belt finally gets those side plates. I'm sure that Triple H is incredibly happy to finally release these belts. Who knows how long he's had this, in his back pocket.
You might be finally relieved to release some of the talent he got let go of. That was wrong. Too soon.
Facts. But anyway, my battery's running super low, and I might get cut off. But anyway, great week of wrestling. Can't wait till the next.
Yes, sir. For everybody in the chat, I want to thank you guys for staying here with us, taking time out of your Saturday, because I know Saturdays at noon. Yeah, I get it. Most people are out doing something. You guys choose to stay in here and talk pro wrestling with us. So you guys are wrestling nerds just like us. Yeah, you can put it down. You guys are wrestling nerds like us. And that was my son rolling my green screen down. I just want to say thank you guys in the chat. Without you guys being here, your comments, we cannot continue the conversation of what we liked in pro wrestling. So you guys are dope. Make sure that you follow, like, share, subscribe to everything that we're doing here on UPR. I do not believe we have a collision show tonight. So I think the next time that you will see us, anything on UPR will be on Monday with the Mike Knox Show. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I just want to say we appreciate you, all of you. And as always,
welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Yes, sir.